So I think it is as well. Is I think so. Like Pep, obviously, and the way that he is as a person, and what he expects and demands off of all his staff members and his players as well. He's getting the right people in to start with, right? And they feel safe and secure, and they feel part of a family, so they want to work hard and they want to contribute. Whereas I just feel that other clubs, like it's always a bit of change in the air. Always, you never fully know where you stand. And I think there's people at other clubs where they look around and think, I might only be here for a couple of years before I get the can again. And you never really get that buy-in, then, do you? You never feel like you're part of a family.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's people at Man City that I've spoke to, like sort of physios and stuff like that, and women at work on the reception and the PAs and stuff. They've been there for untold years.
Yeah, 20, 30 years.
Yeah. So, and they've obviously seen the club go from what it was to what it is now.
Yeah.
I mean, like they've seen it all. So yeah, I think like you just said there, you've hit the nail on the head. They know that they're there.
Yes, the boys. Sorry, the dogs
The
are just
pups are
having a good dogs are having a
around,
bit. I like it. I don't think they're going to do much, by the way. I
No,
don't know the
they're
vicious type.
friendly. Someone comes in, they're licking them to death.
When you walked, just going back to Chelsea, when you walked in at Chelsea then, because you've obviously you've been involved in some incredible goalie kind of unions, haven't you? And when you joined Chelsea, Kepa would have been the world record signing at the time.
What was he, 70-odd milli, wasn't
72,
he?
was he?
Kepa, yeah, 72, wow.
Yeah, like how was that? Like working with, was it him and Mendy? Would it have been at the time?
Edu, it was Edu and Kepa at the time. I think when I joined Chelsea, that to me brought a level of I don't know what the right word is here, but the lack of sort of ego in the best way possible between Edu and Kepa that year was something that like I'd never seen before. There was competition there in terms of like Edu was playing, Kepa wanted to play, but the level of respect and like the courtesy from both of them. My first game we played the Super Cup in Ireland, I think it was, and we did the pre-match before, and we were doing penalties. And obviously, I'd just joined. I'd only been there maybe a week or so before, and Hilario took the goalkeeping meeting before, and it was penalties, obviously final and stuff like that. And it was known that if it went to penalties, Kepa was coming on. And there weren't like, you know what it's like if you played like, I think you touched it on once with Tim Krul when he was on about coming on for pens, and he was like probably the first one to do it and stuff like that. But you know what it's like if you played a full game and you're getting dragged off for pens, you're fuming. And Edu played great that game as well. And like went to pens, like come off, won. I think Kepa saved the pen in the shootout and stuff. And just like I was just sat there in just awe of it. Because like again, I'm not saying you know championship goalkeepers haven't got respect for each other, but where I'd always been, it had always been a sense, and probably myself a little bit as well. I'd be fuming if I was getting dragged out. So when I went there, straight away off the bat, I just saw a level of sort of professionalism that I'd never seen before. But they were great. They were honestly great. Like I remember the day before I was a nervous wreck going in because I was thinking, okay, no, they've just won the Champions League. Like I'm going into training here, like, what am I doing here? Like, do you know what I mean? Felt well out of my comfort zone. But they were both from Ledge, and they honestly like loved working that year. But Edu played really, really well. Was a bit unlucky not to win anything that year. I think we got to 2 finals that season, lost both, I think, to Liverpool. Got knocked out in Champions League, I think maybe semis or quarterfinals. So yeah, it was a Ledge year. Loved it. But yeah, they were elite level goalkeepers that I'd never seen before.
That lack of ego is class. I'm all over that. That's what. But as long as everybody knows how it's happening, then you're on the same. And then you know what it's best for the team, isn't it?
For sure. And but I think that's what they both. Obviously, again, I wasn't probably there the season before when they'd won the Champions League, so maybe they'd had that meeting before, so it was kind of expected. But for me, being there first time, like in a big final, seeing that and just like everyone being okay with it.
Did you ever ask? Do you remember? I think it was before you got there. The League Cup final against Liverpool. Was it against Liverpool? Remember one where Caballero? It was Willie. So Kepa was playing, wasn't he? And then I think he went down with an injury. But he didn't come off. But they wanted to bring him off, and it was Sarri, right? Yeah. And did you ever ask what happened with this?
Yeah, I did ask it.
Right, just frame this. What happened, Ben?
Sorry, I know I just beat around the bush there. Go on. So basically, so it's the League Cup final. It was against Liverpool, yeah.
I don't actually know.
I think it was. Was it when they lost the 2 finals?
No, that was Liverpool. That was the season that I was there. So this was there was a couple of seasons before because it was Sarri, wasn't it?
Either way, it's the final. Kepa's playing. He goes down injured. It's kind of sort of late-ish on in the second half, I think. And they think he needs to come off. So Willie Caballero gets ready. Sarri's like, go, get ready, gone. And he's getting his gloves on, shinnies on, good to go. And then Kepa gets up and he's like, no, mate, I ain't having this. I'm staying on. And his pictures have been waving, go, no. And Sarri's losing it, isn't he? Losing his shit. And Willie's just sitting there going, I don't know what I'm doing here.
It looks so awkward.
It's
Willie,
horrible, isn't it?
I did ask about it. And to be fair, I think it was probably, I mean, if you've been in that situation or you've been a goalie, you probably knew what was happening at the time. Keps is obviously, he's got injured. And for some reason, the translation from the physios back to the physio that's on the bench with the headset was, he might need to come off. So obviously, Willie's got told to get ready. And Kepa's Kepa's not even thinking about it. Kepa's just now like focusing on the game. And then he's looked to the left and he's seen his number pop up. And he's like going, no, I'm fine. But I think in his head, he's thinking, I don't need to come off. We don't need to waste a substitution here.
Yeah.
Like there's no reason to waste a sub. But I think, at that point, I think Sarri then realised it, but I think it was just
head loss.
It was too late. It was just
gone.
like a defiance, like, I'm making a sub and you don't want to come off. And to be fair, it did look terrible, but I think in the actual, not that I know I wasn't there, but from what I heard, like internally, it wasn't as bad as the.
And not only that, like from all accounts, like even from what you just said about a couple minutes ago, Kepa's not that guy.
No, he's not that guy.
Everybody said loveliest
He's
guy,
not that guy.
like, loveliest man kind of thing.
Yeah.
No ego, just a lovely bloke. Like.
Yeah, he's not that guy. Listen, if he was getting pulled off, he'd come off. Do you know what I mean? I think he was trying to make his point clear that he wasn't injured. But yeah, poor Willie was just stood there on the side of his gloves, just staring, just waiting. But yeah, it was. I remember watching it was awkward.
Were you surprised that it never worked out for Kepa? Because like I say, 72 odd million quid, an awful lot of money, a massive expectation, and it just never really worked out for him, did it?
Yeah, I think it was tough, and I think probably the season probably before I got there, obviously Edu sort of came in and obviously made that sort of number one spot his. So I didn't see Kepa in that time when he was probably under the limelight and sort of going under it, but. Yeah, listen, you know what it's like. I would say this, you don't set your own transfer fee. Do you know what I mean? You don't set your own transfer fee, but obviously he's got bought in on big money with a lot of promise. And let's be honest, like when you play for Chelsea, you think Petr Cech, Courtois.
Yeah. Big boots to fill.
Big boots to fill. Listen, it's one of them ones. It's obviously sometimes you go somewhere and it works out, and sometimes it doesn't.
Even Mendy though, like I thought Mendy was class. Like it was an absolute unit, by the way. Like specimen, long arms, like crazy
longest arms ever. Could tie his shoelaces standing up together. He was so big, man. Honestly, but he was. The great thing was though, when I went, there was two totally different goalies. So like you had Kepa, who's not short, by the way. Like people think Kepa's short. He's not short. You had Kepa who was just so fast and could just move, like could move left,
Spanish
right.
goalies. Spanish goalies.
Yeah. But then you had Edu who was heavy but could explode out of nowhere. And I think like being able to work with them and try and take little bits and bobs from them was, for me, like coming in from, like I said, championship goalie, eyes wide open. I was like in awe of training with them. Do you know what I mean?
Just want to let you know that if you are watching this clip on YouTube, you can watch the full episode on Spotify and our Fozcast YouTube channel.